When you're out fabric shopping and you see that remnant that's less than a yard and it's upholstery fabric and you're like, what would I ever do with this? Get it, because you can make a tote bag with it. Upholstery fabric is heavier, stiffer, and thicker than regular quilting cotton, and it makes a great tote bag. Here's a quick tutorial on how to do just that. Cut that fabric in two 18 by 20 inch rectangles. Then grab some lining fabric, which you will want to use quilting cotton for this, and just lay that fabric right on top and cut 3 more pieces, not 2, 3. Just trust the process right now. This part is optional, but if you want a thicker, more squishy bag, I would add some fusible fleece onto each of your main pieces, which you just go to your ironing board and you'll iron it on. I'll show you in a second. Now it's time to cut your straps out. I did mine 6 inches by 30 inches. You do whatever size you want. It's your world. I'm just living in it. Hey, you know what? You're doing a great job. Keep it up. It's time to go to the ironing board. We have a couple tasks here. The first, you want to iron on that fusible fleece to the back side of each of your main pieces. Make sure it's really good and stuck. Now grab your 2 handles and you're going to fold them in half lengthwise, then fold those edges in towards the middle and then fold the whole thing in on itself so all those raw edges are completely contained. They're going to be thick. It's okay. Your machine can handle it. Remember when I told you to cut out 3 pieces of quilting cotton? Well, one of those pieces is going to become an interior pocket. Fold it down top to bottom and iron it, wrong sides together. Then fold it across the left to right sides in half and iron it, and then fold the right and left sides into the middle and iron it. You've now marked where you're going to sew the pocket, so lay that pocket piece on top of your lining piece and match up those bottom raw edges. Now sew right along those ironed markings. You're creating 4 individual pockets that will be on the interior of your bag. Aren't you a genius? Keep going. See those pretty pockets you made? This is what it should look like. You should be able to stick your hand through the bottom. We're going to take care of that in a second. Time to top stitch those handles. I like to use a 4mm length stitch on this, and you stitch on the right side and the left sides of each handle piece. For the closure on this bag, I'm going to use fabric covered buttons. I have a tutorial on this if you want to look it up on my page. It's very, very helpful in learning how to make these little buttons. Let me just say, they're so fun. Now we got to create the loop for them. Take a piece of fabric 1.5 inches by 6 inches and just fold it in on itself again like you did for the handles and top stitch it. Lay it on your bag right in the center with a little bit of space between them and just baste it there. See? Now it's time to box your corners. Lay your main pieces pretty sides together and cut a 3 by 3 inch square out of the bottom right and left hand corners. Do this on the lining pieces as well. The bigger the square you cut, the more squat your tote bag is going to be. Now it's time to sew that bag up. Let's sew the left side, the bottom side, and the right side of both the lining and the main pieces. Once you've done this, it's time to complete the boxed corner. So you're going to open up the boxed corner, match the seams together, and sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Do this on both the main and the lining pieces. Okay, get excited. It's going to start looking like a bag now. See those pretty boxed corners? That's going to make the tote bag stand up really nicely. Let's put the handles on now. We're going to lay those about 5 inches in from each side and baste them there. Place your button about 1.5 to 2 inches down from the top edge on the opposite side of your bag and sew it. Now take your lining piece and you're just going to stick the whole bag inside of it, pretty sides touching. Make sure the handles are in there too. Pin across the top, but leave a 3-inch opening at the top. Don't sew that because you have to turn the bag out through that hole. Once you sew that 1/2 inch seam all the way around, then it's time to turn the bag right side out. Now this is kind of tricky. Take your time. Don't rip anything. It's going to look really weird. See, you are almost there. Stick the lining into the bag, and now we're going to top stitch all the way around the top of that bag. This does 2 things. It makes the bag look pretty and it closes up that hole where you turned it through. Now look at you. You made a beautiful tote bag. You made it with pockets. You sewed on a button. You saved money because you used remnants to make it. I'm super proud of you. Like and follow for more.